Things you thought were normal, but you were just a walking warning sign. Grab your blankie, sit down, and let's talk about it. I thought this t-shirt would be a perfect addition to the video. Very accurate. I thought I would wear it every time we talk about HEDS or EDS in general. I have HEDS, so that's the one I'm going to be talking about the most because that's my experience. If you have your own experience of things that I did not mention in this video, feel free to put them down in the comment and I'll either make a second video or I'll put them up if I could. Before we start, a little warning, I am not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a specialist. I'm just talking about my experience, the things that I've noticed and the things that helped me get diagnosed. But without further ado, let's start. Things I didn't know were caused by HEDS as someone that was recently diagnosed at 27 years old. People just love to make fun of me with. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the time it's very lighthearted, fun. But being clumsy and running into things, I used to get so much shit for that. Watch where you're going, how you're always running into things, how you're always dropping things. HEDS. Your joints are not stable. And on top of that, you most likely have what they love to call a velvet skin. Do you know how easy for the things to slip out of velvet? Try and grab, for you healthy people that don't have velvet skin, try grabbing things being wrapped in velvet and then come to me and be like, why are you dropping things? Be for real. That was one of the biggest things. And that's how we get a lot of bruises as well, because we just be running into things. No matter what you do, no matter how stable you are, you're running into things. But you know what's quite ironic when it comes to that? Even though we're so clumsy, we can so easily fall, trip. That happens quite often for me. Lose stability, drop things. If you see me on ice skating, let's not call the police. If you see me ice skating, if I'm on the ice, just going about my day, I'm so stable on the ice. I'm ice skating so normally, I have not fallen once. You put me on the ground to walk, I'm tripping 2 seconds in. Ice skating, I can spend hours ice skating and I'm fine. Tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how I can explain that to people, because I've been with my partner for a long time now and he's seen me trip so many times on my own shadow, on my own 2 feet that I've been with for years, that I grew up with. And then I remember the first time I took him ice skating and he was like, that's not the same person. How are you just... He was falling. I was not falling. And he's so good on ground. Make that make sense. How is that possible? How does that... 1 equals 1... 1 plus 1 does not equal 2 in this equation. I can tell you that much. But I enjoy it because people underestimate me. People are like, oh, you trip on the ground? I wonder how you'll do doing XYZ. And then I take them ice skating and they're like, no, wait a minute. I didn't think this would be the outcome. And they'll be like so impressed. Even if I'm just doing normal people things. Crazy. Another one, please. Don't clip this. This is so bad. But one of my party tricks that I used to do is I am capable of touching my tongue to my nose. Please do not clip this. I beg of you. This is for education purposes. But I can do this. And I used to do that in front of people a lot when I was younger, being like, oh, look what I could do. This is crazy. You can't do it, but I can. I don't know. I do it sometimes still, because the majority of people just can't do that, and I think that's the coolest thing. But that's one of the quirky things that my body can do. And having stretchy skin is another one. And I will show you. I don't know if a lot of people can do this. I don't think they can, because I remember when I went to my GP, my doctor, and I was like, hey, so 99% sure I have HEDS. And she was like, oh, what makes you think that? And I was like, well, I can do all the things that are on the Baden scale, and I can also do these things. And I showed her. And one of the things that I showed her was me stretching my hand skin. I'll show you in a second. She was like, stop. please, I know what you mean. Let's move on. And I think that freaked her out a little bit. But let's see. Hopefully you guys can see that. And you can see how much he actually stretches. The other problem is because my skin is soft, it slips. So I can't hold it for a very long time. But that stretches quite a lot. I actually don't know if my neck skin stretches. I don't think so. I've seen a lot of people can stretch their face, but I don't think I can do this though. Fuck, that just cracked. That gotta hurt. So that's one of the things. I will say, when I went to my doctor to get diagnosed, I love her to death. That was such an easy process for me. I would love to tell you my story one day. But I remember she was looking up one of the few things that is related to HEDS. And I remember her seeing the velvety skin thing. And she went to, I was like, oh, can I touch your arm? And I was like, yeah, you can. And she went to touch mine. She was like, oh, so smooth. And I was like, thank you. So I was very flattered. That felt really nice. Another thing that bothers the heck out of me, especially if I'm home alone, the inability to open stuff. Trying to open a jar with stretchy skin is such a nightmare, and with lax joints, because I would be doing the motion. I can feel that my strength is there, my technique is there, everything is there, but because my skin is stretchy, it's like putting silicone gloves on and trying to open something, or putting plastic on and trying to open something. It's slippery. That shit is slippery as hell. So that is so hard, trying to open things, especially if they're really locked. It's always impossible. And it's gotten to a point where I feel so bad that I try to use anything around me, towel, whatever is around, so I don't have to let other people do it, because every time I go and do this and it doesn't work and then someone has to open it for me, I look like such a pick-me. This is a nightmare. And especially for someone, I grew up, and I don't want this to be stigmatized or anything, I grew up a tomboy. I was the girl in class where when the teacher was like, all the strong boys come to the front, help me carry those chairs, I was like, I'm strong boys. I'm coming up. I'm gonna help. And I did every time. So getting to a point in your life where you're unable to open a jar or a bottle is a nightmare. Having to get someone, especially if I'm out with my partner and friends, and I'm like struggling, and he goes to open it for me, everyone's like, oh my god, look at you, so cute. You're such a princess. I'm like, no, I tried. My hand is red now. It hurts. I'm not trying to be cute. It's not working for me. It is not. I have to. It's not even cute anymore. I just have to. Another thing that I've noticed, how much things crack, right? You move your wrist, the slightest movement, it cracks. You move your knee, the slightest, it cracks. My hips crack, my shoulders crack. Sometimes I'll be sitting and I'll do a lot of movement and I'll feel like my shoulder is stuck. And then I'll have to do one of these for the shoulder to go pop, and then it goes back to normal. That happens quite often. I get out of bed sometimes, and as soon as I put my foot on the floor and I try to get up, if my hip is out of place, I'm face planting onto the ground. Face planting. And I have to get up so slowly on one leg and try my hardest to pop it back into place. How do you explain that to a healthy person, to a normal healthy person? That you just wake up, or sometimes just move, and your joint decides to travel. Hello? That should be illegal. Biggest nightmare. How frequent you have to go to the toilet? How frequent you have to go pee? I will drink a sip of water, and I'll have to pee 3 times in the span of half an hour. And no, it's not diabetes. It's not any of that. I was in the hospital not long ago, and they tested for diabetes. I don't have it. My sugar levels are normal. Everything's normal. But I have to pee. I have to pee all the time. I have such a small bladder. And oh my god, she has to pee again. Oh my god, you just peed 10 minutes ago. I can't control it. Stephanie. I can't control it. It's exhausting. It's annoying having to pee so often. You will be in the middle of a conversation, people are having fun. I miss half of outings spending it running to the toilet, going to the toilet, going back from the toilet. If you're annoyed with how often I go to the toilet, do you understand how I'm annoyed having to go to said toilet that often? No. Thing down there would not be sandpaper by the end of the day. Crazy. Anyway, another weird thing is the headaches you get from putting your hair up. Putting your hair in a ponytail, putting your hair in a claw clip, you have a headache. 10 minutes in, half an hour if you're lucky, you have a headache. Your scalp hurts. Again, do you know how weirdly people looked at me when I went up to them and I said, "Oh, you've had your hair on for a long time. Your hair in for a long time. Does your head not hurt?" And they'd be like, "No, why would it hurt? Why would my scalp hurt? That's weird." And I was like, so it's not normal. Good to know. Let's add another one to the list. We love it. We live for it. Another thing that I hate society for is women having to be hairless. And what I mean by that, first of all, it's our own bodies. We can do whatever the hell we want with it. Second of all, and trying, especially when I'm pretty sure everybody that was younger back in the day, your parents encouraged, your mom encouraged you to wax over shaving because shaving makes your hair come out thicker. Shaving makes things worse. Trying waxing as someone that has stretchy, velvety skin that is so sensitive that could break easily, I do not recommend. It's 0 out of 5. It's minus 1,000 out of 5, quite frankly. That was so painful. That was horrendous. That was like a torture experience. If you think, as a healthy person, if you think waxing is bad, imagine that 1,000 times for someone that has our type of skin. Your skin is super sensitive. My skin is so sensitive that most makeup products just don't work for me. I have not been able to find a foundation that could put on my skin that will not make me break out instantly. Not one. I'm constantly only using concealer, eyeliner, mascara, things on my eye. I cannot use a foundation, no matter what kind of foundation it is. Sometimes even using SPF, which you should use, it's good for your skin. But even using that sometimes breaks me out, no matter what it is. I've tried so many things, especially when it comes to foundation. I cannot find a good foundation for the life of me. Everything makes me break out. And I used to not understand how people could just do whatever the hell they want their skin. I have a friend. She wears foundation almost 24/7. She's the kind of gal to wear foundation and a full face of makeup to go to the pool. And we love her for it. We do. And every time I'm like, girl, how? Not even hating. It sounds like I'm hating. I'm fascinated. I wish I had that superpower. I cannot do that for the life of me. Going down memory lane of my childhood, my poor dad we're just trying to have a good day, father and daughter, trying to play around, and him trying to give me a piggyback ride and dislocating my shoulder. That was an experience. All he did was grab me like this and try to go like this, right? To give me. And that, to a normal person, that could be so normal, no issues. My shoulder was dislocated. It was out of place. They had to rush me to the emergency room to put it back. And all he was trying to do is have a good time with his daughter. Crazy work. Another thing is so weird, but rolling my ankle so easily, but also I don't know if this happens to anybody, but sometimes your knee just decides to give out. You're walking, you're standing, and your knee just becomes jello. It's gone. You no longer have a knee. You're not allowed to be standing. Now sit down. And that's how it feels. I'm getting humbled by my own knee. Whose side are you on? Another big thing that I'm sure a lot of people with HEDS, especially people who suffer from this, get shamed when they go to the dentist is tooth decay and how easily we can get it. So if you have HEDS, your gum is connective tissue. And what do you have? A connective tissue disorder. Your teeth easily, constantly shifting, getting tooth decay so easily, even if you do everything right, even if you're flossing all the time, even if you're brushing all the time, like brushing your teeth, you still get tooth decay. And I remember before I got my diagnosis, every time I hated going to the dentist. Every time I go there, girl, you're this age, why do you have this much tooth decay? And I was like, I don't know. I do everything right. I floss probably more than the average person, and I don't know if that's healthy, but every time I eat, I'm flossing. I have those little bags that you carry around because I hate the feeling of something being stuck in my teeth. I can feel it, right? So I'm constantly flossing, I'm constantly brushing my teeth. Yes, I do drink a lot of soda. I do have a lot of sugar, but I know people that they don't even brush, they don't even floss, they eat whatever the hell they want, and they don't have one tooth decay. What? You won at the gene lottery. I clearly did not. I be doing everything right, and I still get tooth decay, and I still get shamed by my dentist. And then people wonder why you hate going to the dentist. It's so expensive, and on top of that, I'm paying you, and you're shaming me. What? Girl, get it together. One thing that really changed my life in a very disturbing way, and I'm sure a lot of people have struggled with this, is jaw locking, jaw clicking, not being able to open your jaw past a certain point, sometimes not, can't even reach the normal point. Making eating so difficult, sometimes even talking could be so hard, chewing could be so hard, your jaw hurts so much, your jaw is constantly out of place. About more than three actually, 5 years ago now, if I'm not wrong, it was the first time where my jaw was stuck. I couldn't open it, I couldn't close it, it was stuck. I could only open maybe that much, right? And me being resourceful, worst mistake of my life, I popped it out even more instead of waiting for it to actually relax or go to the emergency room. No, I just popped it out. So I made it worse, basically. I was able to open my mouth and close it as much as I want, but now my jaw clicks. My jaw dislocates so easily. I've only just started fixing it probably 2 months ago. And besides having even worse jaw pain, worse clicking, I couldn't eat on one side for the longest time because of the pain it was causing. With all of that on top of it, do you know what it does to your facial symmetry? I took a video one time and I was like, holy shit. You can literally see the difference. You can see how it just ruined my face. It ruined my smile. I remember people used to, and this is really nice, people were complimenting it. So there was a specific way that I was smiling at the time. That was 5 years ago, where my smile goes a little bit to one side than the other. And people used to be like, oh my god, that's so cute. I love how special your smile is. And I used to be so confused because obviously my entire life I've never had that. And I didn't realize, so, oh my god, did I have that and not realize? Did I just not have photos of it? Because back in the day, we weren't as big on taking photos as we are now. Then after it kind of clicked in my head where I was like, wow, my jaw dislocating, it changed the way I smile. It changed the way I laugh because my jaw is leaning to one side more than the other, even just at a resting position. And since I've recently fixed, that's been changing back to how it used to be, which I'm really happy about. Nothing wrong with having a different smile. Nothing wrong with having a smile that goes one way more than the other. I think that could be the cutest thing. And a lot of people clearly found it cute on me, but it's not something I grew up with. It's not something that was normal for me. So having that, especially that change was caused by something that was painful that was happening to me. I'm really happy that's reverting back to normal. Whether it comes with I can't open my jaw as much as I was able to before, but I can open it enough, and I'm happy with that. I'm gonna keep it there because I would rather that than having the amount of constant pain and changes that happen to my face. that had happened with the ability of opening my mouth, probably more than the normal person. So I'm happy that's gone. Another big thing that I've noticed as well is a lot of brain fog and memory issues. And for me, I kind of blamed it on my mental health because I do have CPTSD issues. I have had depression. I do have anxiety. And a lot of these things do affect your brain in that way, where you have brain fog. And I do have insomnia. Again, it makes things worse. But it's also related to having HEDS because your brain is obviously made of connective tissue as well. So having those things is normal. So I've been trying to do those like mini memory games, trying to memorize things if I could. Even making videos like these, I think will help towards building my memory back up, which it would be great because it just keeps getting worse. I can't even remember the smallest things these days, which is really alarming because I'm not that old. I might be unk status, but I'm not death status quite yet. Another kind of weird thing that I've noticed as well is how often I crave salt. Growing up, I used to hate pickles, but now I'm a hoe for pickles. You've got pickles? Give me. I want those pickles. You would see me elbow deep in a pickle jar. I thought I was just growing up, my taste palette is changing, but no, a big thing of having HEDS is craving salts because you're craving minerals, you're craving electrolytes and stuff like that. And the goofiest thing and the weirdest thing is when I went to one of my other doctors back in the day before I found the one that I really like at the moment. I remember telling them about my low blood pressure, and then they were like, you know what I would prescribe for you? And I was like, oh, what? And they're like, licorice. That's where you gotta eat licorice. What? And I remember me telling them, oh, if it's salt related, I tend to have the need to put salt in my water sometimes. I lean towards pickles, towards things that are salty. They're like, that makes sense. With your low blood pressure and even with having HEDS, mother, you need that salt and you should go get that salt. It's good for you. Obviously, everything to moderation, to what works for your specific body and body needs, but that's definitely something really good. Another thing that makes wanting to get ready and wanting to doll up and stuff is how easily my arms would hurt from trying to braid my hair, especially if I'm doing the up braid like this. It's so painful. Having to blow dry your hair is so painful. Even if you're watching this video and you notice, I got to a point where I'm leaning back and I'm supporting this arm with this. And I've just noticed that actually. Having to blow dry your hair is painful. Having to braid your hair is painful. Having to do anything that requires your arms being up like that for a long time could be very painful. And I'm sure I can probably make even more videos on just the little things that I thought were normal that were not. But for now, that's all I've written down. And one of the things that I really want to also talk about moving forward is things that have helped, things that have not helped, how I got diagnosed, what was that process, and things that work for me and for my body. And with that, the list have finished. I have not found enough kind of personal experience videos out there, so that's kind of one of the big reasons why I'm making this series, because I really want people to feel heard and to relate to probably people that are just struggling with it. They're not just, because the videos that I've seen are more people, some of those people do have it, but a lot of the time it's people who are specialists and not like an average Joe, right? But I want people to not feel alone. I want people to understand that a lot of people are dealing with similar or same things as you are. And no matter how hard that is and how lonely it feels, we're still out there. The zebra community is getting bigger and bigger on a daily basis because awareness is spreading, thank God. So being an advocate or being a voice, telling people and telling you these things, I feel like is something that's really needed in today's society, because it's so easy to feel so defeated and so alone when it comes to chronic illness. I remember I was like thinking that I have my life ahead of me. I had so much ambitions. I had so much passion for things. I was the kind of person that did not want to sit around. I wanted to be working all the time. I wanted to be doing things all the time. And then getting to a point where I got my first really big flare up and just feeling that grief and feeling that loneliness and having to accept that version of you that you thought you will have and you thought you are is just no longer there. And that's really heartbreaking for a lot of people. And a lot of the time you're in your head thinking, why did this happen? Feeling that pain of just the potential that you feel like you've lost. It's so hard to spiral. It's so hard to self-isolate because you're like, nobody understands. Nobody's having to deal with this, but we're out here and we're all struggling with similar things. We're all trying to figure it out one step at a time, even if it's baby steps. And even if it feels unfair, because healthy people don't have to have such a big time and energy put towards just existing when we have to. But I hope my videos could bring some sort of a comfort, some sort of inspiration, and to make you feel less lonely, to have found someone that is struggling with something similar to you, and hopefully find people in the comments sharing their experience and helping other people also see that yes, they're not alone. We're a big community, and we're a community that supports each other. And I really hope this could be something that helps you in the long run, and it helps me in the long run. And I'm trying to be more active as well, which is why I started my ice skating series as well. I've only done one class so far, but I think it would be good for people to see that someone can struggle with this much of chronic illness and still be able to pursue their dreams and their passions, even if it's limited. I wanted to be a figure skater since I was a kid. I have photos of me in the ice skating get up when I was a little girl. And it's something that I've always been passionate about. It's something that every time I step on the ice, I feel free. So maybe seeing someone that struggles with the same chronic illness still being able to get on the ice, still being able to find their passion could be inspiring to some people, because even when I wanted to try, I generally don't think I found someone. When I looked online, when I looked on YouTube and TikTok, I don't think I found someone that has talked about having HEDS and was doing something like ice skating. And that kind of scared me going in, because I'm like, what if I can't do it? But if you're interested in ice skating or something similar to that and you have the condition, I want to be sort of a beacon, or I want to be sort of a baseline to tell you that yes, maybe you could. That yes, I'm a person that struggles with these things daily and struggles with flare-ups. But look at me, I'm still able to be ice skating. And I hope that would bring you out of your shell, and I hope that will inspire you to take up your hobby and commit. But don't overdo it. Never overdo it. Never try to prove anything to anybody, not even yourself. When it comes to chronic illness, you don't want to get injuries. You don't want to get exhausted. Yes, it's sad to know your limits, but it's also powerful because you know how far you can go. Rest, and then how far you can go later. And just try to work with your body instead of against your body. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was funny but also educational enough for you. And I hope it might have helped you feel less alone. And I hope that I see you again for the rest of the series. This is my first video, so Don't mind it being scuff a little. But I'm sure I'll get better at filming. I'll get better at having my points a lot more organized. But for now, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and please feel free to leave, to subscribe, to follow this series. I'm really excited to make it, and I'm really excited to find my zebra community. I really want to make more friends that have similar conditions to me, because things do feel lonely when you don't have people that are struggling with the same things that you're struggling with. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you sticking to the end of the video. That's really sweet. And I wish you guys a good day. Mwah.